All right, well, hello, everyone. This is going to be a husband's panel slash men's panel because one husband got replaced by a son today. And so now I like replaced the husband, still the husband, but he is sick right now. So he cannot talk without coughing.
Oh,
But
that's true.
this hopefully is going to be a recording that when men in the future want to hear more about the Mary Kay business from a husband's or a guy's perspective, they're going to be able to replay this. And this is something I used to do live probably once every 6 months, a men's night. And I just had someone contact me on my Facebook fan page and say, do you have any, like something my husband could watch? And so thank you, whoever asked me that. You may not be on here, but that was the just instigation to say, okay, we need to do this again. So you have people at all different levels. You have a leadership team manager, Kathy Fowler. You have a sales director, Otten-Sweeney, and you have Jake Sweeney, a son who came home from the hospital. Alden and Jake both did in pink Cadillacs. So all of these men have a real comprehensive perspective on a Mary Kay opportunity. And so my hope is that by the time we get done, you're seeing a more full circle picture of what a Mary Kay opportunity can bring into a family, into a household, into a woman's life that then filters into their spouses, their kids, their parents, everyone's life. We say and mean that your dreams are attached to other people's. And so my dream started 38 years ago when I bought a starter kit with a post-dated check. And there may be guests listening to this or someone listening to a replay that a post-dated check means you don't have the money, $100, to start your Mary Kay business, which actually is not that uncommon. I think Alden had just shared a stat that the average American family is $1,000 away from a disaster. Like that's all they have if tires blow out, if washing machine goes out, if something goes wrong, they have $1,000 extra. And that is, it's called the working poor. I was working 80 hours a week, but there was more month than money. And so I look back and think, gosh, if I was a guest, watching this and I would have made a decision because I thought I was risking $100, I would have risked all the things and knowing, these people. I mean, even my son-in-law, my kids, I would know, but I probably wouldn't know my son-in-law because if I hadn't started my Mary Kay business, my husband may not have had the opportunity to retire when he was 33 from being a federal agent, to move back to Michigan to pursue his dreams and goals of being a strength and conditioning coach, which is where we met Cody Wido. And I wouldn't have known Kathy and John Fowler either. So Kathy, if you want to lead us off and share your before, now, future story, and then, couple interesting things that you want us to know about John. And then I know John's gonna share his favorite Mary Kay products. And you guys listen to the favorite products. These are great Father's Day ideas. These are great things your family may want to start using. Groomsmen gifts, because people just think, oh, men just use the men's skincare line. And that's not the case at all. You're going to hear from these men. And then the guys are going to share from their perspective, what do they want you to know? Like, what value have they seen this opportunity bring into their wives' life as a child growing up in a Mary Kay household and now a young man? What value did you get from the Mary Kay business? Because, your wife or girlfriend, she gets all excited about her red jacket in her car, and the guys get excited about that too, and our prizes and things. But from a guy's perspective, what value have you seen? Why would you recommend a husband or a male to support their wife or girlfriend or daughter to start a Mary Kay business from what you've seen? So Kathy, will you lead us off?
Okay, I will. So I'm Kathy Fowler, live in Monroe, Michigan. I'm going to start way back. Like Dawn talked about, she began her career 38 years ago, and that's about, I think that's the same era that I first started Mary Kay. I was in for just 1 year. I had between the ages of 20 and 25, 4 babies. Started Mary Kay. My husband at the time, who was not Happy Man, was laid off. He worked construction and got laid off. So I had gone to my very first seminar in 1985 on target for the Grand Am, the Red Grand Am at that time. And the following month, when he got laid off and had surgery on his neck, I stepped back from Mary Kay and went to work full-time in a doctor's office so that I could have benefits for the family. But it was really funny that like through the whole entire time over the next 30 years, literally 30 up until, because I came back into Mary Kay in 2015. And that whole entire time, I always knew, like Mary Kay, you can put some jobs away and you just never go back and think about them again. This was different for me. And I wasn't active in Mary Kay. I had no role in Mary Kay. I wasn't in contact with anyone, but I always had, like, I just loved the sense of the company. So I was working as a flight attendant in 2015, and another girl, one of the other girls I was working with had started her Mary Kay business and got talking to me about buying the repair set. So I bought the repair set and said, but by the time we got done with that trip, I need to get back into Mary Kay. Literally came home and told him and called my cousin, signed an agreement, and was back on the road again. So it just, I went from working in the doctor's office to being a flight attendant and back into my Mary Kay business, and have now retired from flying, but I am not going to retire from Mary Kay. And in this season of my life, the really cool thing is that I can keep Mary Kay at the level that I want it to be and still have a nice little income coming in to supplement and work when I want to and have the flexibility to still travel with Happy Man. So it works really well in very different seasons, as you guys are going to find out tonight. But some interesting things about Happy Man. Most of you who know me know that he's Happy Man to me. His name is John Fowler. Yeah. But so he, aside from the fact that I'm very lucky because he's always been really supportive of my business, like from that day I came home from the flight and said, hey, I want to start Mary Kay. What do you think? And he's like, do it. They give free cars, don't they? He just has always been really supportive. So that was the first really interesting thing about him. I didn't know what he would think when I first told him, but he was very supportive. He's a guy who can fix anything, literally, like anything. He used to be his career was diesel mechanic, so he literally can fix semi-engines. But anything from a necklace that I break to a car to the diesel mechanic, he does that a lot. He's just a fixer. He can fix everything. What else was I supposed to say? I guess that was it, right? Yeah. So you tell them now what your favorite products are. And I
can highlight a little bit on how she got started. Excuse me. I'm a little bit on the frugal, cheap, penurious, whatever you want to call it.
Penurious is a good word.
And we would go to the makeup counters at these department stores, and I would see a whole lot of money spent for not very big bottles. And I'm thinking, you didn't like Mary Kay when you sold it? Don't you you're buying stuff at cost? Well, yeah. And that's where it all got started. That's where I started planting the seed. We need to start doing something here. You need to get back to selling that. And then the car was just a bonus. She started, we got the first car at the end of 2016, and she had started just a year prior, and everybody's a little skeptical, and all my family's, when you get that pink Cadillac, they're all cheesing that. So when we did get the first car, they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, I like that. If you live in Michigan, you know what license plates, insurance, and car miles cost. That first 2 years she had that first car, we put 68,000 miles on it. And lease a car with a 68,000 mile, when you buy that kind of miles, you're talking big bucks. And this new car, she just got in Malibu 6 months ago. On the way up here, it turned over 15,000, and we were in Florida without the car for quite a little while. So we drive a lot of miles. So to me, it's a big item having that car. And we drive it everywhere. We do a lot of driving. That when we first had the cruise, my whole family's skeptical of the whole car thing. Yeah. Well, when we got the car, I happened to take my uncle with me, who was at the time he was like 78 years old. We took a cruise up Woodward for the Dream Cruise, driving the Mary Kay car. And you cannot believe the number of people as we were, you got all these fabulous cars going by them. The people were sitting along the side of the road. I would go by in a Mary Kay car and they would say, "Oh, Mary Kay, Mary Kay." I was just shocked. And he was like, "I can't believe this. I can't believe this." I said, and then, they're after for the pink Cadillac. And I said, "Well, that's coming." And I got a lot of my buddies like, "Oh, I wouldn't drive a car with Mary Kay on the side." I said, "Let me tell you something. This car is free to me. I will drive anything that they give me and enjoy it. This is a great little car. Mileage is phenomenal. It doesn't cost me anything but gas." So yeah, I put a stop to that immediately when they start that, I wouldn't drive this. Yes, you would, if you got any sense, So that's kind of where that was at. And and I had a little mishap, something that Cody can understand now. I had a little mishap here about 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago. They cut my pension by 72%. And I still carried on the way we did. We didn't live as extravagant as we did because that's a big chunk. But she started carrying the ball. She started working a little harder. While I was fishing, she was doing Mary Kay. And we didn't have to change our lives a whole lot, only because of her bailing me out, basically. I say the term, she carried the ball for that period of time. Things have come around with me now, but we got fortunate with that. But yeah, that little backup money helped, and she could regulate it, up and down. Another thing, it used to irritate me when you go in a restaurant and you see people, texting on the phone, this and that. Well, I got over that real quick because several times I'd say, "Who are you talking to now?" She said, "Just a minute." She might be on the phone texting for 3 or 4 minutes. Then she would say, "I just paid for dinner here," with that little text. I said, "I will not stop you from texting while we're eating ever again." And that happens quite often. When we're in the car going on these rides, she's always on the phone selling stuff. "Well, I just sold this. I just sold that." Pays for the trip. I mean, it's just a phenomenal way to be traveling and make money. You can make money anywhere. It's just, and the next thing is too, when we go to seminars, and I recommend everybody at least get to one seminar to see, these girls are all trying to talk you into going. You need to go once just to see what that's all about. Mary Kay does, it's phenomenal. It's mind blowing when you go to seminar. And there's nothing like seeing a bunch of millionaire women when they do the Cadillac parade. All the women that are driving pink Cadillacs, and there is a lot of them in this country, driving from the entry-level cars all the way to the Cadillacs. It's something to see, and it gets you excited. And all the speakers and the training that they get for nothing. All they got to do is just attend, whether it be online, be there at the seminar, or any of these training seminars that they have anywhere. It helped me a lot just in the mindset of what they're getting through to these women on how to better yourself and think better. It's I can't say anything bad about that part of it. It's just phenomenal. And I encourage anybody, any husband, to go, or any, new consultant, or anybody that's doing the business, to go and take what they have to offer. A lot of companies, you got to pay to get this stuff. There, it's all free and it's there for you. It's a phenomenal company. And I've been to several different places, New Orleans and Dallas and all over, following these training things, and it works out great. I mean, it's well worth the while. So, and then the products too. I like the products. Am I supposed to put this on now?
You have to put it on. We can talk about it.
The sunscreen, I never used to wear that. And now this sunscreens for me were always too heavy and made me, sweat. I didn't like it. This stuff is phenomenal. It's a 30. It works great. I put it on every single day. I got a lot of buddies where I worked, truck drivers, on the left side of their face, always having skin problems because they didn't do anything through their whole careers. Their left arms and their left ears, left side of their face, that I put on every day. And whether you're driving or doing whatever, you've got a little bit of protection there. And it's if you're worried about that, which everybody should be, it's well worth the while. I really enjoy that product. And Alden's got up to shaving cream. I love that.
Vanna.
I use that every day. When I'm getting something else done, I put that under the hot water and it comes out a hot foam shave. It's great. I love that stuff too. Now, Kathy's got something else I got to show here. She just started me on this because I am a lifelong boater and fisherman, and I've got some dark spots showing up. She's put me on this. It's only been a week now, but she guarantees me that very soon I won't have any spots either. The Dalmatian look will be gone.
And Kathy, what product is that? So we know the name of it.
Yeah.
So this is the Furlic Plus Niacinamide brightener, the skin brightener out of the Clinical Solutions boosters.
No more Dalmatian. Look, I love that.
Yeah,
And then the soaps and stuff that she's got in there anyway, I just use them too. I don't know which ones are which.
shower gels.
Yeah, them are all good stuff too. So
All good.
it's been a journey. And another thing I want to add, she was a flight attendant, had a lot of friends. I mean, she gets along with everybody, but no real close friends because they're all over the country, and they pass in the airport and they don't, they might go out when they get to a spot and you won't see that same person for another 6 months maybe. This family of Mary Kay women is phenomenal about staying in touch. And if you've got any kind of situation that's you need a little help with, they're there, whether it be spiritual or just to give you a little boost. I've never seen anything like it. They're a phenomenal group of women. And she's got some really, really good friends, and as I do from this group. So it's everything is good.
Thank you. Excellent. Alden, you want to take it away?
Yes. When you were saying phenomenal group of friends, I was thinking back to that cruise we went on together that Mary Kay paid for back in, I think it was
Yes,
20,
I forgot about that.
right
Yes.
before the pandemic, 2019. Mary Kay paid for a cruise for us. That was phenomenal. We send each other pictures all the time when they come on our flashback on our phone. So loved all that you guys shared. So just real quick about me before I hop over to Cody. My name is Otten-Sweeney, and I've been building my business for 10 years now. I started when I was 19. And as Dawn shared at the beginning, I am her daughter. So came home from the hospital in a pink Cadillac, got to see the lifestyle that having a mom working a Mary Kay business at a high level allowed. And I really valued that. I loved that she was able to, be a mom, but also have an executive income and have influence and impact at the same time. And I used to roll my eyes and say, I'm never doing that Mary Kay thing. But I lived in Metro Detroit around 2008, 2009, when the economy was not so hot and it really affected the auto industry. And I saw that a lot of my friends' families were really negatively impacted by job loss from their parents. And I saw that wasn't happening in my family because of the stability of my mom's Mary Kay business. And I just remember, tucking that away. I was a sophomore in high school at the time. I remember thinking, I value she has the control and that her, livelihood and our family's, income isn't at the whim of an employer or an economy. And I thought, maybe I could do this Mary Kay thing someday. And I think maybe it could have been then that I stopped rolling my eyes when people asked if I was going to do that Mary Kay thing. But fast forward, I didn't start my own business until I was in college. I was going into my sophomore year, and I really wanted to earn a free car. My brother and I, who people have heard me talk about, but most people haven't seen him. But Jake and I were given a car to share, and we did not share very well. So I said, I'm just going to earn this Mary Kay car and, see how it goes. And I quickly learned that I loved everything about the business. And I started doing this and earned a free car in a couple of months and around a college schedule and moved into a leadership position. And I actually decided to pursue Mary Kay as my full-time career after that. So this is what I've been doing full-time since then. Right now, currently, we're sitting in our Detroit dream home, as I call it. We just purchased back in October, and we are expecting our first baby in June. So we're very excited about that. But I just love my Mary Kay business, and my unit and I are currently working to become a $1 million unit, one of the top achieving units in all of Mary Kay. And I especially love that I tucked that information away back in 2008, 2009 about the stability and security of my mom's Mary Kay business, because last Friday, around 6:30 a.m., Cody got an email saying that his job was bye-bye. And it wasn't fun, but it didn't shake or phase us. And I'm so grateful for that, because that could have been a really big mix of a bad time with being 6 months pregnant, just bought our absolute dream home, have a whole bunch of renovations going on, all of the things, but we could, say, it's good. We got this because we have the stability of my Mary Kay career. So that's something that, John talked about, which I had kind of forgotten about that season of your guys' Mary Kay path. I know you haven't, but it kind of slipped my mind. But I'm just so thankful sitting in this position now because of Mary Kay that we can say that. But a few things about Cody. He actually used to be a professional hockey player and played a year in Switzerland, which was real fun. Golf is one of his favorite things. He likes to do it. He'd probably like to do it every single day when it's nice in Michigan. And I definitely would say that he drives my pink Cadillac more than I do. So I'm going to have Cody share just a little bit about his perspective on Mary Kay. He's been around since the beginning. We started dating when I was 17. I started with Mary Kay when I was 19, but obviously been around my family. And then I'll have him share his favorite products, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, so I just have to say, like, one of the main things is like how she just talked about, I just got laid off, and just being able to be financial sound. Like, even when I first got out of college, I went to play pro hockey, and I mean, pro hockey, but it's still minor leagues. Everyone knows how minor leagues pay and everything like that. Like, it's not too much, but I was still able to do that because she was pursuing her Mary Kay career at top notch and everything like that. So I was still able to move around the country, play wherever I wanted to, move to Switzerland for a year and have her come out every now and then, just because she's still able to work her business from wherever she wanted to. So she could come out for a week, 2 weeks, however long she wanted to for that side of it. Another good thing about this too is, I mean, this is a good thing for the men. We really never have to buy them diamonds at all. They get to earn their own diamonds and everything like that. And that's top notch. You don't have to pay for anything like that.
Yeah.
And then another thing about the company is just all the trips that you do go on. Like, we just talked about the cruise that we went on, and that my wife earned, and she also earned the trip to Scotland, the top director's trip this past fall that we went on. And I mean, it's women of all ages there. It's not anyone that's just like, everyone's over 40, they've been in the business a long time. I mean, there's 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Like, it doesn't matter like how old you are or anything like that. Like, you could earn that trip easily. You just gotta work the business and keep at it and everything like that. As far as products would go, let's start out. I'll start with the 3D set skincare. There's quite a bit of them here.
He's used to them being perfectly organized.
Yeah.
How I have them set up.
So this would be the 4-in-1 cleanser. I just keep this in the shower and use that every time I take a shower. Before I met her, she always talks about this and everything like that. I just hop in the shower, spray some water in my face, and yeah, I'm clean, I'm good. And then this is the day cream. And like John said, with the he shadowed the SPF 30 and everything for the men's line, but this has SPF 30 in it as well. And I like that a lot because you don't have to worry about it like on the golf course or something, throwing some sunscreen on, then your hands are all slippery when you start to sweat a little bit and possibly lose the club. Not a good thing. This is the night cream. It's a little bit lighter than the day cream is just because it doesn't have that sunscreen in it. And then this one is the age minimizer eye cream. Just helps with the wrinkles all around your eyes and everything like that.
And I want to say, yes, this is pink, and this has been around.
Oh, I take it in the locker room with all my friends, everything. Hey. Yeah. The second one is the 2-in-1 body wash and shave, and it's not the men's line, it's actually just the regular line. And the reason I like this one is just because it's not that strong of a smell with it, and the men's line has a little bit more fragrance in it and everything like that, but I use the cologne, which is the third one. And I just don't like mixing the fragrances around, and this is the high intensity sport, so I just that's why I like to use the 2-in-1 body wash with it.
Those are the favorites.
Favorites. Okay. Now we're going to move on to Jake Sweeney. So 3 things that you may be interested in. A lot of you, if you've been in Mary Kay a while, you've heard my story of my firstborn needing open heart surgery on an emergency basis when he was 3 months old. And this is Jake. That was a moment in time when my husband, being a federal agent with those, I call them golden handcuffs, that people stay in forever, the secure job, the retirement, the benefits. And we lived down in southeastern Georgia, and that secure job was telling us that they would for sure pay for Jake to have 2 open heart surgeries in a year, but not to air ambulance him to a hospital with a surgeon that would do 1 open heart surgery. And that was, I was a brand new director, had picked up my Cadillac less than a year before, but I knew that I was willing to sell Mary Kay products 24/7 the rest of my life to pay for my child to have 1 open heart surgery versus 2. And so Jake was on stage with, like John said, the family part of this, thousands of women in the Mary Kay world praying for him. And he got to stand on stage and thank them for that as a 10-year-old for his 2nd open heart surgery. And as you can see, I mean, thank you, God, he is more than fine. He has no restrictions. So he's had 2 open heart surgeries. He played roller hockey, and wasn't that like junior, was it roller hockey junior Olympics that you were in, that you guys won? I remember the red, white, and blue jerseys. Jake's like, what is she talking about? All right, well, he played roller hockey, and he is one of the top touring music producer DJs. So he is one of those people that went to college for this, and after he got out of college, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And with no musical talent, never really played an instrument or anything, he is making his dreams come true. And he went to prom in the pink Escalade. My kids both learned how to drive in the pink Escalade. And I remember Jake saying, you know what, Mom, all my friends pretty much have their own cars, because in the Metro Detroit auto industry, people are getting their cars for their kids. And I'm like, and we do too. You have a pink Escalade. That is your car, because you can put kids on Mary Kay cars for a portion of what it would cost to insure them. So Jake, thanks for stopping in tonight. I told him it was a podcast because he does lots of podcasts in his industry. So I go, it's on Zoom, but it's just like a podcast. But Jake, I'd like you to share from, your perspective. Obviously, you're not a Mary Kay husband. Hopefully someday that would be a dream. My dream come true as a mom is to have, because I've seen this in Mary Kay, that there are brother and sister teams and sister teams, and they're on these Mary Kay trips that the company's paying for all over the world. But from your perspective, what did you learn that was beneficial for you growing up, and we call it the pink bubble, that you want people to know about? Because, there's a lot of women who, they don't build their business because of their kids. And I built my business because of my kids, because I saw the fruit in my mentor's life and in their family's life, and the opportunities it gave them to pursue their dreams and goals. So what do you want to share from your perspective as an entrepreneur and a kid that, has known nothing other than your mom building a Mary Kay business?
I guess thinking about it, probably the biggest takeaway would be like growing up and seeing like your flexibility with your time and money, and how you could work as hard as you want to open up more flexibility and time and whatnot, and like being something that's really like, I don't think I value or like understood the value of it until like when I got to college and started pursuing like the marketing stuff that I was doing, and then did my internships, and then was like, I would lose my mind if I had to do this like corporate stuff. And then, ended up falling in love with music, which, having no musical background and no one in our family in music, is kind of just insane to pursue. But I think those two things hand in hand, obviously, like inspired me to, get there, like with everything and just like do that and pursue it. And now, luckily, that's something I always saw from you. And so it's something that luckily I've worked hard and gotten to myself.
Mhm. What, Jake, did you ever think, because I know women can struggle, they feel like, I don't want my kids to think that I'm sacrificing being a mother to pursue their Mary Kay goals. Did you ever feel like there was a conflict between me prioritizing my business goals
No,
over being a parent?
no, not at all. And that's why I said like the flexibility part is like you could adjust and balance the life to like handling raising,
Mhm.
us and, handling everything else. Like
Mhm.
it offered a great balance, and it was obviously something that, grew up with and seeing. So
What are your favorite Mary Kay memories or Mary Kay funded memories? Because we've done lots of trips, and so
San
favorite things that Mary Kay.
Diego,
Mhm.
obviously, I think that was the first time I went there, and now traveled a lot now, and that's still one of my favorite places I've ever been. Um, Going to Italy, that was my first time in Europe, obviously. Um, I'd say those are probably two highlights for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hawaii, but I'd say like the San Diego and Italy ones definitely, first time in
Mhm.
Europe, and also like San Diego, which is now a place that I've vacationed to. I feel like I don't even know how many times now.
Mhm.
So much. So
What so for those of you who don't know anything about electronic music, which I had no idea when he said that that's what he's going to do, I'm like, okay, so can we monetize it? And what is it? How does this work? And so, I mean, Jake started off like a Mary Kay consultant does. You get a starter kit, except there's not really like in Mary Kay, it's like a franchise. Someone teaches you A, B, C, D, E. They tell you what to say, who to say it to. The whole thing is you don't have to figure out where your customers are going to come from. It doesn't matter about your education, your experiences, your personality, your age, your geographic location. It's all taught to you. What Jake did is had to start writing music, put it out on SoundCloud, get enough people liking his music around the world that then someone would know that someone would buy tickets to come and see him. And so you start off with nothing, which we do in Mary Kay, but what he did was far less duplicatable because there's not a franchise for someone to become a music producer, DJ. So it's an entrepreneurial business that's far more difficult than what we do. For the women who are considering Mary Kay businesses or already in, what is some of your best advice to become successful from taking, an idea, a dream, a goal, and turning it into reality?
I'd say working hard obviously is like number one, and also like affiliating yourself with people that are extremely like-minded. That's something that's been really good. I feel like I've done a great job putting myself with people that like I've helped and they've helped me mutually, and it's been really good. Um, those would be my top advice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, in that, I
and
remember,
hardworking. Yeah.
yeah, hard work and sticking with people. And Mary Kay created that for us. Like we naturally have that in our business. Like John was talking about going to seminar, workshops, stuff with your director, that's baked into our business. When Jake was, writing his music and getting started, I said, where do the best people go in your industry? And he said, Icon. I'm like, where's Icon? Icon's in LA. Why aren't you at Icon? He goes, it's really expensive, Mom. And I'm like, how expensive? I looked at my phone and went, oh my gosh. Yeah. all right, but let's go on a tour. And if that's where you need to be, because I know in Mary Kay, if you want to be good, at any endeavor, you want to go where you're going to get the best education and the people who are the best like-minded that can help you get there. And so Mary Kay's leadership conference, ironically, was in LA. We went there and Jake ended up going to school there. And again, I mean, I love that I have a business that I could say, okay, yeah, I wasn't planning on $50,000 for a year between housing and school, but I can make that much more money in Mary Kay if I need to and want to. And that's something that, again, if most American families can't figure out how to get 1,000, they're not going to figure out 50,000. They're not going to be able to make up for 72% less in their retirement, and they're not going to be able to say, oh, we have a baby coming and a new house, and I got an email saying that my whole company is gone in Detroit. All the jobs gone in one email. So, Jake, what are your favorite products? I have the ones I think you're going to talk about that I can show.
I've got the natural moisturizing stick. Natural.
Mhm.
That my sister
That
gave
one.
me Saturday before I went out
Yep.
to bars in Detroit. My lips were very dry. Got that. And then we got you got that.
Oh, targeted.
Yes, yeah, that's the body lotion of choice right there.
How do you guys make it show up?
And it's very bright, very
I
bright.
know.
The toning lotion though.
Yeah. Targeted action, body
Targeted
toning
action
lotion.
toning lotion. Yep, that's the stuff.
Yeah. Mr.
And,
Sweeney loves it a lot.
And for
This.
the face right here,
Mhm.
that moisturizes the face. Good
The
to go.
oil-free hydrating gel.
Yep.
That used to be a product that when I first started selling Mary Kay, Jake used, and I would have his friends texting me in college saying, hey, I need some of that purple goo that Jake's got because it's real nice. Purple goo.
Yeah.
And then the C&E
Yep.
serum.
That's the stuff. Keeps me looking young. All the planes I fly on and stuff.
Moisturizing stick, purple goo, targeted action body lotion, and replenishing C&E. Okay, so in closing this up, if it could be just Kathy and Alden, or if the guys want to contribute anything else, like for the men who are listening to this now or in replay, or women who are listening to it, why would you recommend that they give this a shot? And if they're already in, why would you recommend that they continue to pursue and not quit? Last words of wisdom.
Kathy and John, you got to unmute.
There, now you got us.
Thank
okay.
you.
Kelly's a prime example of, she started a long time ago, got back into it, got a car within a year. Everything was going along. We had some family issues that she was spending a lot of time still flying with my mother, my stepdad, things going on, her dad. She kind of backed off a little bit. She made it all the way to director. She backed out of the director, kind of took it a little easier. Money's still coming because she's got quite a client base already. But now she's back hard at it again and earned another car, has a red jacket, and can go, it's up to her whether she wants the promotion or not. It's not like, well, you're competing against somebody else. Will he get it or will I get it? Or, I can't get it. If you want to, you can, as she has done. She's done up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's totally up to you. It's what you want, you can make out of it. I guess that's that. And when you go to these seminars, I've said women are there in all sizes, shapes, and colors, but there are no wrinkles. For these ladies that have been using it, it's a proven fact. If you see all these women that have been on these regimens since they were young, there are no wrinkles.
So I think he just did a great job summarizing everything for me. But I think from my perspective, you guys, just like any season, I started Mary Kay, like I said, I just had 4 babies in 5 years. And, if I only would have know now what I knew, or knew then what I know now, you know, and stayed in it, I could have worked all through that time. I could have made up for the difference in having benefits or insurance benefits or not. I didn't need to step back from Mary Kay at that point. And I, you know, in hindsight, can see that. But, you know, at this point now in my post-retirement from my career job, my other career job, I still can have an income and we can still travel and be flexible, and I can do this from wherever. So, you know, any season, anytime, any place.
Cody and Alden, final words, advice?
I would say just stick with it. I mean, times aren't always gonna be the best for you and everything, and then a lot of times that's when like the husband needs to step up, give him a little push, talk him through it and everything like that. And I mean,
Tell them to call their sales director.
I mean, just like with my job, like you don't have to worry about getting the axe one morning just without any even knowledge or anything like that, of it coming or anything like that. You control your own destiny on that side of it.
Yeah, I think why I would encourage that you know, start a Mary Kay business right now would be the same reason that I would encourage consultants or anybody, you know, to work your business to a new level would be, honestly, in my 10 years, this has been the most exciting, and I'm seeing the most growth and opportunity in Mary Kay now than I have in my 10-year career. So I think that's something that's really exciting to, you know, say like the best really is yet to come at this time. But honestly, like, again, we have no idea what the future holds. So having that plan B is really helpful. And you never know when it's gonna have to become a plan A, but you get control of that, and you have, you know, you already, you know, have an established customer base that isn't going anywhere because they don't have any wrinkles, so they're real happy. You know, whatever it is, but having that, you know, stability and that income so that you aren't in a crisis, honestly, a crisis situation. You can protect your family and your future from any unforeseen crisis, so that things aren't as high and low. You can kind of fill in those gaps when you need to, because you have the stability of a business. So that's for new people, best time ever. And for consultants that are in, you know, it's go time. And I think really the best is yet to come.
Yep. Any other advice, Jake, that you'd like to give people from your perspective now? I mean, you've put your 10,000 hours into what you've done, and looking back, like what advice would you now give yourself 10 years ago, your starting self, like just getting going, knowing what you loved, your dreams and goals? What advice would you, you know, give yourself looking back 10 years ago?
I mean, they can just pursue it. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be easy. Definitely not going to be easy, but just like keep going and pursuing it. And like Cody said, you know, like with what he's dealing with, like if you stay on it, like you don't have to worry about someone giving you the axe or anything, because, you know, it was 3 years ago, almost today, that I had shows lined up all year, and then the entire world shut down and there was nothing for me anymore. It was like gone, which was very shocking. So that stability is something that's like, you know, steadfast. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, you guys, let's give our men a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys did a fantastic job.